and founder of the Manifestation Academy for Entrepreneurs. In today's episode, I am going to talk about what is holding you back in your business. As always, I'm going to look at my notes because I'd like the podcast to be a bit more organized. So often when I start working with someone, so usually people come to me because they've just started their own business or businesses, or they want to start their own business and quit their jobs at some point in the future. And when people are still in a state of fear or a negative energy, when they're about to make such a huge decision like quitting your job, or such a huge transition like quitting their jobs and starting a business, we tend to find excuses as to why we shouldn't do what we want to do, even though we know that working for someone else is not beneficial for us. Um, Usually, ego, and when I start asking questions, I ask questions because I want people to understand and find the answers for themselves and get clarity. Sometimes they give me even more excuses as to why they don't want to quit their jobs, or they're too afraid to start their own businesses. And this is sometimes your ego talking, okay? It's the ego is trying to protect you from the unknown. So one of the things I teach at the Manifestation Academy for Wealthpreneurs is stepping away from your ego, recognizing your ego. Recognizing your ego and stepping away from it and focusing on your heart chakra. So as a mindfulness coach, this is one of my speciality. I'm trained to do this, to help people to recognize their ego mind, step away from it, and focus on their heart chakra, because we all hold the answers to our questions within. We just have to look within. So I'm going to start today with fear. So fear, it's a very sort of generic reason. It could be I personally mentioned here fear of judgment and fear of failure. Fear of failure was one of my blocks when I wanted to start a business. I didn't care so much about what people are going to say, but fear of failure was a huge obstacle for me. So a lot of people don't realize that when you work for someone else, you're building someone else's dream. You don't build your dream, okay? You building the safest version of your dream. So the safest version of someone's dream, in my personal dream, it was to get promoted within a corporation, because this is how I was raised to be, to go and get a job and work hard for someone else. But it turns out I was wrong. So yeah, working for someone else might seem as a safety net, because your job is, someone is providing the job for you and someone is giving you money every month. But what is the cost of working for someone else? You're not control your time and money. You're not I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in the UK, the employer deducts tax and national insurance contribution before you receive your final pay. And I've asked actually human resources years ago if I could do my own taxes, and I was told that no, I couldn't. And very often people are afraid that also fear of not having money, that when they quit their jobs and obviously start their own business, there will be money worries, of course. But I did a video in the past about money blocks, I think it was called. So go and watch it. That might give you a bit of clarity. So often I also hear what will people say if I say to someone that I'm starting my own business. Will they make fun of me? Will they asking me a lot of questions? Well, if they choose to make fun of you, that's their problem. Just shows what kind of people they are. And also, I personally would take it as a compliment, because if someone is making fun of the fact that I've got big dreams and goals, that means that they don't, and they don't have the guts to build a better life for themselves. Okay. So also, we, because of this safety, this illusion of safety that the system have created for us, we are afraid to take risks. Okay. Well, you need to understand that if successful business and taking risks go along together. Okay, I've taken many risks over the years since I've started my first business. I have lost money, it is what it is. It's just one of those things. But I run my business now is in a better place than it was a few years ago. And by taking risks, for example, trying something new, starting a new business venture, trying different marketing and sales techniques. Yes, it is risky because it might not work, it might not get you clients, but unless you try something new and see for yourself, you wouldn't know whether it works or not. And also, if you're going to take a risk thinking that it's going to fail you, that's exactly what's going to happen. Take a risk and don't see it as a risk, see it as an adventure. And don't forget, mindset is everything. You attract what you are. If you think positive, you attract positive. If you think negative, you attract negative. Okay. So another obstacle that I see with business owners is a lack of clarity. You would be surprised how many entrepreneurs are not entirely sure what they want to do, why they want to do it. I just want to start a business. Okay, let's slow down a little bit and see what business you want to start. Okay. If your message is confusing, you're not going to attract anybody. People will be like, oh, he or she doesn't know what they're talking about, and they don't sound confident in what they're selling, so we're not going to watch them. So you need to be very specific as to what you want to do as a business, how you want to help people, why you want to help people. You need to be very specific with your prices, with the people you want to sell your products and services to, because your clarity is also going to be reflected in your marketing strategies, in your sales strategies as well. Okay. I often, I was like this actually when I started my skincare business. I want to help everybody. No, I'm afraid that's not possible. You need to focus on a particular group of people to begin with, and then when your business starts growing, then you could change your target audience or expand your target audience. Until then, start small, otherwise you would feel very overwhelmed and it's going to affect the energy of your business. Okay, right. I wrote it down here, shiny object syndrome. Okay, so I used to follow, I used to be part of a group on Facebook, and I left the group because I just couldn't stand it anymore. So the person who ran the group always had pictures of him in front of very, very expensive cars, and I see it with other coaches online, expensive cars, expensive designer clothes and bags and whatnot, what have you. So what they're doing is they're trying to attract people to go and buy from them, trying to tell them that as soon as you sign from them, with them and start working with them, you're going to drive, Ferraris and Porsches and wearing Louis Vuittons and all that kind of stuff. Yes, one day you will have all of that. But at the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey, this is not going to happen. Okay? So aiming for the shiny stuff is not going to get you anywhere. So people are thinking, I'm going to start a business because I want to drive Porsche 911, for example. If you're starting a business with the intention to make a lot of money in order to buy a car, you're not going to succeed in business. Okay, focus on what your business, how is your business going to help your ideal clients? Okay, let go of anxiety, I don't know, help with depression, skin conditions, help with fat loss, and or help with I don't know, back pain, whatever it may be. Um, so oh yes, that's also what I was going to do. So a lot of people are spending years, perfecting their business, perfecting. I'm using the word loosely. I've changed my business model few times over the years. So until you get, it might take you a long time to get to a place in your business where you'll be able to afford shiny things. Until then, step away from the material and focus on the energetic side of your business. Does your business align with your values? Does your business align with what you want to achieve as a business? Helping people and making a difference in the world. Okay. Right. Another thing that I've included here is a reason to hold something that holds you back in your business is poor time management and distractions. So that is again linked to 9 to 5 job. So when you work for someone else, obviously you're contracted to work certain hours during the week. When you work for yourself, you don't have that. Okay, you can work anytime. So today, my husband and I had to go out, and I said to him, "We need to do lives today," and he was like, "Oh, what time do you have to do lives?" That doesn't matter, because it's my own business. Doesn't matter what time I'm gonna do lives. As long as I show up online and I'm being consistent, that's what's important. So just because you don't work 9 to 5 anymore, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't manage your time and stay away from distractions. It's very easy to get distracted when you start your own business. Okay, oh, the phone rang, something interesting on the TV, someone said this, someone said that. Usually people who run their own businesses work from home, so this can be a little bit of distraction. So also, something I used to say to myself very often when I was in a full-time position: I don't have time, I don't have energy. And to be honest, I really didn't have time, but I had to step away from this when I quit my job and find time about everything. So now what I do is I just say to my family, look, today I need to do this and this and that. Can we work around it? Because people who have normal jobs, they don't know what it's like to run a business. They often forget that you have the same hours as them. That it doesn't work like that. So don't allow to family members, friends to distract you and to encourage you not to manage your time. So what you can do is you can set calendar reminders on your phone, or I usually set a timer on my phone. So half an hour I'm going to work on this, half an hour I'm going to work on that. This helps me to manage my time. I also have a diary where I list the things I'm going to do for the day or for the week, which also helps me to stay focused and to manage my time. Yeah, I think that's what I was going to talk about today. So when it comes to running a business, you need to understand that you need to step away from everything that's holding you back. You need to work on it. You need to acknowledge what is holding you back and work on that, because if there's something in your business that's holding you back, you are not going to run a successful business. There will be always something that is holding you back. And if you keep thinking that something is holding you back all the time, you will be constantly in that mindset and you will never move forward. Okay, so as a manifestation teacher, mindfulness coach, and founder of the Manifestation Academy for Wealthpreneurs, I help businesses to overcome any obstacles that are standing in their way and holding them back in their businesses. Okay, when I start working with someone, the first thing we talk about is any negative energies. So we remove any negative energies, we remove any excuses, and when we clear the rubbish, we start fresh. Okay, because I know there's a lot of people want to start their own businesses, and I can guarantee you that nobody wants to work for someone else forever. People want to be in control of their own time and money. They don't want someone else to tell them what to do, but they're too afraid to to transition from normal job into running their own businesses. But it is possible. You just have to take that this first step towards this huge change in your life, starting a business. Because starting a business, it is very overwhelming at the beginning, but it is worth it, because in the future it will serve you well. You will have more time for yourself, more time for your family, and of course unlimited abundance. I offer various products and services in the Manifestation Academy for Entrepreneurs. I've just released my first ebook, which is called Protect the Energy of Your Business. I'm going to include all of my links in the description below at the end of this video. Actually, I need to, when I add the description, I will add all of my links. And also I have a guide how to manifest your dream business. Another guide is how to recognize money blocks. And one of my coaching programs is called Mastering the Art of Manifesting. So if you're not sure which one of my products and services is suitable for you, send me a message. You can book a call from my link tree. When you go to my link tree, there is a Calendly link. You can book a time, or you can just send me a message, whatever works for you, really. And we'll go from there. And that's it from me for today. Thank you for watching, and have an amazing day. Bye.